What's up, YouTube? Hey, I am going to be reviewing the TP4056, which is the 3.7 battery charging module. I went with the micro USB version of it because it's supposedly the latest version of this battery module charging unit, and it seems to be working pretty good. You'll see how I build it. I basically took a old ATX power supply, a 500 watt, and I utilized the 5 volt and 12 volt wires to build this. I also used a old plastic workbox that I had just in a junk pile, and I ended up buying some battery holders that hold 1850 batteries. You can get those off eBay for cheap. I think the total amount or cost of this project was about 13 bucks. And I actually got 10 modules and 10 battery holders, but I actually only could fit 6 comfortably on the face of the box, so I just went with that. I drilled a 1/2 inch hole in the back of the box, routed all the wires, and then separated them. The red and black wires are the 12 volt wires, and the 5 volt wires, and the yellow and black are the 12 volt wires. And you know, it came out pretty good. It basically, you'll see later in the video that it starts off with a red LED, which shows the battery is charging, and once it gets to a certain point that it reads the voltage of the battery as being full, it will change to blue, which will then cut off the voltage and discontinue the charging, so that you don't burn up your batteries and cause a fire. Anyway, enjoy the build.
Your prison love, we were caught in a reckless flame. In a life thought we can't take back now. We almost had it all, but now we're left in chains. Oh, we started a war. There's no turning back. There's no turning back. Heartbeats full of fire. Now we're caught up in the motion. Cut me with your lies. Now we're never gonna slow down. We keep bleeding love. So we come down. We keep bleeding love. So we come down. Bleeding love. So we come down. Bleeding love. So we come down. Bleeding love. Bleeding love. Bleeding love. Bleeding love. Bleeding love. Caught in your line of fire. Had a hole and I can't escape. Pull me down with your cruel desire. The writing's on the wall, but we're too blind to see. Oh, we started a war. There's no turning back. There's no turning back. Heartbeats full of fire. Now we're caught up in the motion. Cut me with your lies. Now we're never gonna slow down. We keep bleeding love. So we come down. We keep bleeding love. So we come down. Bleeding love. So we come down. Bleeding love. So we come down. And I can't breathe. We could run. We could. Every little thing we hold, but we can't leave. We could run. We could.
As you can see, I got mad skills building this box here. I'm almost done with all of the circuit boards, the TP4056s. I'm lining up all of my battery holders and modules. I would just recommend that if you were going to tackle this project, little planning probably would have done me really well. I did a lot of stuff on the fly. I had watched a couple of YouTube videos on this before, and it looked pretty simple, but it wasn't all that easy. But anyway, after a couple hours of work and all of that, I set up my meter to meter the output of each module. Now, they varied. It went from 4.2 to 4.5 on the output. Sorry about the glare. I didn't happen to notice that the meter was right in the line of the light. But, you know, they basically all were within, you know, a little over 4 volts. Which is fine because, you know, these 3.7s actually charge up to about 4.1, 4.2, 4.1, 4.2 volts. And the one thing I did like about the charger module unit is that it would light red when I put the batteries on, and then it would light blue when the batteries were finished, so I could get a visual check of everything. And of course, the power supply could do the 5 volts, which is the USB power basically, and or the 12 volts. So later in another video, I'm going to show how I actually put a power LED and a balance charger that could discharge the batteries all off this same power supply, because the 12 volts has like 18 amps on the power supply, which is cool because the LiPo, the one I got, the IMAX B6, utilized at least 5 or 6 amps to do the charge and the discharge on it. And so I had plenty of bandwidth there to utilize it and actually do a modification to it. But that's in another video. I will, when I post that one, I will link it on this video to make it easy to find. It'll be a real short one, I promise. I know this one's long, but I wanted to show the aspects of the entire build and how long the process is and the stages that it takes. I actually ripped the batteries that I'm putting in now out of a laptop, an HP laptop case. And of course I didn't take all the glue off, and then I was test fitting them because I was fixing a Hitachi drill battery that had these holders, and so I popped them all in, and of course it took like a lot of strength and wiggling around and going rocking it back and forth to get these damn batteries out, because I didn't wipe off the glue, and so they were practically glued shut. But eventually I summoned the strength from deep down within and popped these suckers off. It wasn't easy. But once I did that, I mounted them all in there, and I'm going to label them all with what port they came out of, because I basically numbered it from 1 to 6. That way I could keep track of which modules charged which batteries and how much they charged to. Then later on, when I do that mod on the LiPo IMAX, I will discharge them and see what capacity each battery has. But like I said, I like the fact that it shows the nice little red LED when it's in charge mode. So you know, if you, and I know that they say, you know, don't walk away, but if you were to walk away for a minute and then come back, you could see that they're all in charge mode. I felt each and every battery while they were charging, and they didn't even get a little hot. So I knew that these cells for sure, since they came out of a laptop, were probably good. You know, a lot of the other batteries that I have been collecting came out of old drills and old cordless devices, and they're a little more suspect, so I was going to treat those ones more with kit gloves. But anyway, I got the batteries all back in the charging modules. Of course, the last one's always the hardest one. That one had a bunch of the tacked on wire still on it. I hadn't cut it off yet. I had been meaning to do that, but I just decided, okay, I'm just going to go for it, pop those all in, and let's see if they charge. So I left it overnight, and I know you're not supposed to leave them, but in this case, these were brand new batteries pretty much, and they all show blue, which is fully charged. And I felt each and every one. None of them are hot, none of them were straining. So I decided to stick my meter on it. And you know, I was looking for like a 4.2, 4.1 reading on each and every one, so I knew that they were max charged. I know that they say that you can overcharge these batteries, and if you overcharge the batteries, you could cause an explosion and or a fire. So I know that that's one of the reasons I got this this TP4056 module, was that it has an automatic cutoff. Now, it doesn't have any reverse polarity protection. So if you're worried, or if you put the batteries in backwards, you could blow up your module. So just be very careful, you know, take your time, be diligent, you know, determined, and just go slow. And you should be easily able to create one of these if you're handy at all. Once again, you know, it's just a old computer power supply, an ATX power supply, 500 watt, and a little box, and about $13 worth of parts.